there, and welcome to the Seven Figure Authorpreneur podcast, where we empower authors with tools, resources, and inspiration to build prosperous book brands.
I am your host, Sierra Robinson, and today we have Octoryia Robinson in the hot seat to answer all of your burning publishing questions.
Woo, 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 guys. I am so excited to be on this side of the microphone. Let's go.
Hi there, Octoryia. How are you doing today?
I am beyond the moon excited. I can't wait to share on this amazing subject that we're going to be discussing in today's podcast.
Well, let's start off with you telling us about your experience in the publishing world and how you ended up where you are today.
I'm going to try to fit like a 15-year journey into like 2 to 3 minutes if I can. So growing up, I always had confidence in my spoken voice. But when I began to have this dream and desire in my heart to write books, I was afraid. Guys, I eliminated myself in so many ways. I'm not good enough. I'm not successful enough. I don't speak well enough. You could think of a negative thing I thought about it concerning myself, and therefore I pushed my dream off for like 10 plus years. Up until I got to a point in my career where I had a moment that I said, hey, if I don't go ahead and move towards this dream of writing a book, I might very well spend the rest of my life regretting it. I had too much regret already in my back pocket. I didn't want any more, so I said, let's go. The next 9 months, I went on to write my very first book, Unraveled Potential. I thought, hey, I write my book, I go back to my business coaching, my business consultant. Something really radical happened. I went on an unplanned tour. I'm traveling and speaking and selling my books everywhere. Honestly, I went on to sell 20,000+ books in the first year, and I'm like, whoa. And people began to take notice so much to the point that they wanted me to assist them to help write their book. And I would, these real small, unmarketed groups. I'd take people on a journey to write their books, get to the finish line, and month after month, help us publish. And I'm like, I'm not a publisher. Until I got real serious about the request, and I took it to God in prayer. And I felt like I had the peace to move forward. He brought me a mentor. He brought the resources, and boom, here is Dream That Big Publishing.
20,000 books sold is incredible. Thank you for sharing that powerful journey. Let's dive right into what is self-publishing, and can you explain the self-publishing process for us?
Absolutely. In Octoryya's words, self-publishing is when the author wants to have a more involved role in their publishing process. They want to take the lead. They want to have more ownership over the ultimate outcome and the process of producing their product. That is self-publishing. Now, history once said that in order to publish a book, you would need to go the traditional route with one of the bigger publishing houses. But in order to get into a big publishing house, you would need a really good literary agent. And in order to get a literary agent, you would need a really, really good, well-rounded manuscript, what ended up happening is that many powerful, beautiful stories were never published because of this very convoluted process. And what self-publishing did is it opened the door for people like you and I to get our message out in the world unscripted. How about them apples? And that's why I'm so excited about the self-publishing market.
Alrighty. Is the self-published route really a respectable way for a first-time author to go?
I believe that's really a mindset response. Whatever you perceive something to be is what you're going to get out of it. If you believe that going the self-published route is a less than going the traditional route, then you're probably going to yield those results. But there are some best-selling authors who have self-published their books. In fact, some of your more respected authors actually publish their own books. They're not going through big houses anymore. People like John Maxwell's, he's publishing his own books, guys. Now, he did have the benefit of working with bigger publishing houses in the past, but at this phase of his life, a lot of his newer books are coming directly from a self-published platform. So again, that's really how you view it. Do you believe that it's a lower level? If you do, then that's the way you're going to respond to it. In my opinion, I believe as long as you're bringing the excellence to the process, then it is an excellent option for publishing.
That is some great advice. Exactly how much work is involved in self-publishing, and how much technical know-how do you need?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I will say, guys, hear my heart. I know, especially when it comes to nonfiction authors, we are absolutely passionate about message. And message, which equates to content, is very important. But I need you to understand that your book is more than a message. The message alone won't be the reason why it sells. There is branding, there is production, there is marketing, there is sales. There are a whole lot of other ingredients that are required in order for you to have a successful transition and financial outcome in the market. So I would say, depending on your goals, it will determine how complex the process is for your publishing. It will also determine how long it will take you to reach your goals.
Now, when it comes to the cost of self-publishing, what's a good price range for an author who is, well, for a new author, let's say that? And at what point do we start earning income?
Another great question, Sierra. So now you got two minds that we're going to deal with. You have the mind of a self-publisher that just wants to work completely independent of any kind of support as far as a publishing company. And so their costs can sometimes look a little lower, but I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, their return on investment is a lot slower. So just because it's a lower cost doesn't mean you're actually making the right decision for your project. On average, I would say if you're choosing to publish in concert with a publishing company like Dream That Big Publishing, depending on where you begin, you could look at spending anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, maybe even $6,000. And this is including all of your editing, coaching, branding, sales strategy, promo graphics, etc. Because again, guys, publishing is a big process. If all you have at the end of the day is a book, you probably aren't going to enjoy great success in the market, because your book is no different than a bag of chips or a box of cereal. It is a product that must be properly branded and marketed in order to be successful, i.e., create sales.
That brings me to my very next question. How does one properly market their book?
Guys, you guys gonna love me. Maybe some of y'all gonna be annoyed by me. But the way you market your book is truly based on your vision. How many people do you want to reach? Who do you want to reach? Where are the people you want to reach? How quick are they going to transition from a person that's observing and consuming all that you have, that it's free, to someone that's entering into a financial transactional relationship with you? So again, you've got to go back to that before you can make a decision or a determination on what the marketing costs could be for your project. But if you're looking for like an average, and again, I'm very cautious when I say average, I would say you want to prepare for at least $2,000 to $3,000. Marketing now is made so much easier than in the past. Social media has opened a massive door for us to really reach people with content, with video reels, and so on and so forth. YouTube is another great platform, but those things need to be designed and created at a professional level where the cost comes in. So yeah, we have our phones, but remember, if you know your audience and you know they're looking for X, Y, and Z, we can't just be satisfied with bringing a mediocre presentation of our product to the market. We have to put the same excellence we want them to crave from our product into the presentation of it. Again, that's where the cost would be coming from.
Speaking of finances, In your opinion, is self-publishing fiscally worth it? And how is it better than traditional publishing?
Wow, this is so good. And this reminds me that I didn't answer an earlier question. You wanted to know, when could I expect to make profits?
Yeah.
Guys, listen. Breathe. This is a slow climb. It's a slow climb. What do I mean? If you're not committed, then you will probably not end up generating the type of revenue you want to see in your book brand. You, as a first time or not as established voice in the market, the first 6 to 12 months could be just building rapport, building energy around your product, building confidence in your voice, establishing your expertise, which may not equate to a whole lot of sales. But if you've got a beautiful big picture in mind, and you know that those 6 to 12 months are worth it. The average, and I do not want to discourage anyone, but the average self-published author only sells about 250 books ever. Now, some of y'all are about to hit the button and say, I don't want to listen to this lady no more. I'm forgetting my dream about self-publishing. But don't do that. Let me tell you why the average self-published author is probably only selling 250 copies. It's because they're not doing what I'm talking about. They're not planning with big picture in mind. They're not developing the strategy. They are not looking at their book as a product. They're looking at it as something they want to just share, like we share our phone numbers or our social media handles. But we've got to begin to see our books as a brand, like McDonald's sees Big Mac, the Big Mac, and then Burger King sees the Whopper. Yes, I love food, as you guys can tell. But if you're not viewing that book as a product, then it won't move like a product.
It will not move like a product. Speaking of which, we know that there are many genres in writing. Do you feel that self-publishing a children's book closes the doors to traditional publishing?
Absolutely not. There are a lot of people who began the self-publishing route and gained success in the market and are eventually picked up by a traditional company. But again, remember, you need to be educated on what it means to publish through a traditional publishing company. In fact, on the Dream That Big website, we have a really insightful blog that I would encourage you all to read. I believe it's called Four Paths to Publishing, and we really outline all the different types of publishing. This would be a great resource for you to make an informed decision. But back to the question, just because you start as a self-published author, it does not mean you'll never become anything more. The door is wide open for more. You've just got to believe and push your product, sell it, and see where it leads you.
How do you find a professional to edit or review your book before publication?
Thank God for Mr. Google, right? There is so many resources out there, and I know it can be overwhelming as well as scary, because much like yourself, I've been violated where people oversell their skills and expertise, and I end up with something I didn't desire. But some of the more trusted, vetted sites are like Reedsy, that's REEDSEY, I believe, Reedsy. Then you've got Fiverr, you have Upwork. These are places where people have to go through a process before they're able to advertise and share their expertise and get jobs. I really like Reedsy the most because it's very laser focused on books in the literary world. So I would suggest that you go ahead and build you a profile there, and you can look through. There's so many filters on there that you can search for editors who have specialties in specific genres. What are their reviews? What types of books they've edited, etc. And I think it'll help you make the best decision for you. Or you can work with a publishing company just like Dream That Big Publishing, where it's already a part of the experience and the community and the support that we provide.
Well, now that we've got the editing and review stage talked about, once I complete that, how do I go about the sales and distribution portion of my book?
I'm glad you're asking, because so many people believe if I write it, it will sell. Can I help you out and let you know? No, it won't. Not beyond your friend, your cousin, maybe your grandma, and your friend family circle. And honestly, guys, if I can be like brutally honest, I have had to have very emotional conversations with authors who thought even family and friends were going to support them greater than they did. You cannot depend on your people you have a personal relationship to support every single one of your business endeavors, which is why it is important that you develop that plan, you develop that strategy, you outline and execute upon a pre-launch strategy to your product entering the market. You connect to places where your audience will be on social media, in groups, in networking, in person, attend events. All of these things are now building a rapport in the marketplace for who you are, what you bring, what you deliver, what solutions you are able to provide for people who need them. Another great way is speaking, like what we're doing right now, getting on podcasts, doing a blog, all these things, going live, sharing reels. Guys, the sky is the limit.
So what will be your top 3 personal go-to as far as resources for authors who are either just starting out or have this vision for a book that they don't know what to do with?
First thing I would recommend is get the help and support of a writing coach. There is no shame in it, guys. I know most people feel like when you got to go see a coach, it's because you're inadequate in an area. It's the opposite. The top performers still maintain the support of a coach. You're talking about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant before he passed, Michael Jordan. All these people maintain the support of a coach because they recognize that a coach's job is to bring the best out of you. And that's the same thing that a writing coach will do. They'll bring the best out of you. Second thing I would say is work with an established branding team or company. Please. And this is no disrespect to anyone who only designs on Canva. The reason why I'm sharing you need to work with a branding expert is because a branding expert, they're clearer on things bigger than design. They understand the meaning and the purpose and how to invoke emotion through design. They understand the psychology of colors and so much more. And building with a brand expert will help you deliver different results in the market. Lastly, breathe. Make sure you have a pre-launch plan. Don't just write till the wheels fall off and hope for great results. You want to write and plan for success in the market. What are the 30, 60, 90 days look like leading up to your book being released, leading up to your book launch party? Are you dripping little pieces of your content to kind of establish and get people excited about it? Are you taking pre-orders? Are you getting reviews so you can share it? Are you going out and sending it to key influential people who will help you promote it? All of these things are a part of a pre-launch strategy. Those would be the 3 things that I would say. Get your writing coach. Make sure you work with a branding expert, and make sure you design and define a rock solid pre-launch plan.
Do you have any other advice that you would like to give to our listeners?
Absolutely, guys. Hear me. You are worthy of writing your book. You may not feel qualified or the best at it, or maybe you even feel that there are other people in the market who have something similar to say or a similar story. But your unique voice has the ability to touch a very unique audience in a very unique way. So give your voice, your story, your principles, your knowledge an opportunity to thrive in the market. Let this be the year that you finally write that book. And lastly, when you do not be afraid or intimidated to reach out for support, whether it be with a publishing company like Dream That Big Publishing, or you get you a mentor, writing coach, or someone who has expertise in the publishing process. You do not have to learn and struggle the hard way. There are too many people who have already done it for you. Get some support. And I'd say that would be what I'd leave you all with.